Mass-market ice cream brands such as Ben & Jerry's, Häagen-Dazs, certain flavors, and Breyers have become global staples of indulgence, synonymous with comfort, celebration, and emotional relief. Whether scooped into a bowl after a long day or shared during a gathering, ice cream evokes a sense of innocence and pleasure. But beneath its creamy texture and sweet appeal lies a dense concentration of added sugars, saturated fats, artificial colors, emulsifiers, and flavorings that make it not just a dessert, but a potent example of an ultra-processed food. Regular consumption of these frozen treats can quietly contribute to metabolic dysfunction, cardiovascular disease, inflammation, and even neurological and behavioral impacts, especially in children. Sugar is the most glaring concern. A typical serving of Ben & Jerry's half-baked or Häagen-Dazs dulce de leche contains 25 to 30 grams of added sugar per half a cup, roughly 6 to 8 teaspoons, exceeding the American Heart Association's recommended daily limit for both adults and children. However, very few people stop at a single serving. Pints are often consumed over 1 or 2 sittings, meaning a single indulgence can deliver 60 grams or more of sugar, leading to blood sugar spikes, insulin surges, and lipid imbalances. Over time, this pattern promotes insulin resistance, one of the major drivers of type 2 diabetes, abdominal obesity, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, (NAFLD). The high glycemic load of ice cream also leads to rapid shifts in energy, often resulting in crashes that encourage additional snacking or sugar cravings. This cycle is particularly dangerous in children and teens, whose metabolic systems are more sensitive and who may experience behavioral disturbances, poor concentration, and mood swings from repeated sugar highs and lows. Combined with a sedentary lifestyle, routine ice cream consumption becomes a silent contributor to childhood obesity and early metabolic syndrome. Many mass-market brands also use artificial flavorings, colorants, and chemical stabilizers to achieve consistent taste and texture across long shelf lives. Breyers, for instance, has been known to include corn syrup solids, guar gum, mono and diglycerides, and cellulose gel, all of which extend creaminess while reducing actual dairy content. Though some of these additives are considered safe in isolation, their frequent presence in processed foods raises concerns about gut health, immune function, and cumulative chemical burden. Emulsifiers such as polysorbate 80 and carboxymethylcellulose, used in various frozen desserts, have been shown in animal studies to disrupt gut microbiota, promote intestinal inflammation, and even contribute to obesity and metabolic disease by impairing the gut barrier. Artificial colors, used in flavors like Cherry Garcia or rainbow varieties aimed at children, add another layer of concern. Dyes like Red 40 and Yellow 5 are known to cause hyperactivity in children, with some research linking them to attention deficit/hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, and behavioral issues, especially when consumed in the context of high-sugar foods. Despite growing awareness, these ingredients remain common in mainstream ice creams and are often not clearly labeled unless scrutinized. Even the fats in ice cream are problematic. While Häagen-Dazs uses real cream and tends to avoid some of the lower-quality additives found in other brands, it still delivers 12 to 20 grams of saturated fat per serving, depending on the flavor. These fats, combined with sugar, form a hyperpalatable blend that stimulates the brain's reward system, encouraging overconsumption. This unique mix of sugar and saturated fat promotes lipotoxicity, fat accumulation in non-adipose tissues like the liver and pancreas, and enhances systemic inflammation, a hallmark of many chronic diseases. Saturated fats in isolation may not be as dangerous in the context of a whole food diet, but when paired with added sugars and synthetic chemicals, the effects are amplified. Additionally, many popular pints contain hidden calories, ranging from 250 to 400 calories per half cup, which can amount to over 1,200 calories in a single container, more than half the daily requirement for many people. These calories are not only dense but nutrient-poor, offering minimal protein, fiber, vitamins, or minerals. Replacing real food with such indulgences contributes to micronutrient deficiencies over time, even in people who appear to be consuming enough calories. For those concerned about allergies or intolerances, ice cream also poses risks due to dairy proteins, lactose, and soy lecithin, a common emulsifier. Sensitive individuals may experience bloating, acne flare-ups, fatigue, or mild inflammation after consumption. While dairy-free options are growing, many of these still rely on highly refined plant oils, thickeners, and added sugars, making them just as processed and often more glycemically destabilizing than their dairy counterparts. There are also ethical and environmental considerations. Large-scale ice cream production is tied to industrial dairy farming, a sector associated with animal welfare concerns, antibiotic overuse, methane emissions, and water pollution. The use of palm oil derivatives in some formulations contributes to deforestation, particularly in tropical regions where palm plantations replace biodiverse rainforest. Lastly, from a psychological perspective, ice cream often plays a role in emotional eating cycles, where it is used to manage stress, sadness, or celebration. While this isn't inherently harmful in moderation, when emotional eating becomes habitual, especially with foods engineered for overconsumption, it can interfere with emotional regulation, self-awareness, and healthy coping mechanisms, increasing the risk of eating disorders and food addiction. In conclusion, while mass-market ice cream may offer temporary pleasure, its regular consumption introduces a wide array of metabolic, neurological, gastrointestinal, and environmental risks. The combination of high sugar, saturated fat, and artificial additives makes it one of the most concentrated sources of ultra-processed indulgence in the modern diet. Choosing simpler, homemade alternatives like frozen banana, ice cream, or small-batch, low-sugar options with clean ingredients can reduce the harm without sacrificing the joy of a cold treat. But the most important shift lies in reframing ice cream as an occasional indulgence, not a staple dessert. When viewed through that lens, its sweet appeal can remain intact, without melting away your long-term health.